Okay, welcome to the channel. I just wanted to go over a trade that was pre-market, that was a press release trade. This is a screenshot that I took, and it was 9:04 today. And if we look at the top press releases, at 8:30, there were some press releases that came out. And the logic that I wrote for the press releases is it doesn't show just any press release. It actually scans for certain keywords in the title, and then it will show up on the list here. This right here is a screenshot that I took. Now, the one that I want to take a look at happened at 8:05. Now, around 8 o'clock, I start really looking at the press releases, and I saw this one. This was IMNN, and this was a really good press release because it said the annual meeting oral presentation highlighting unprecedented survival data from phase 2 trial of IMNN 001 in treatment of newly diagnosed advanced ovarian cancer. So there's certain keywords that I'm looking for. Now, phase 2 is one of them, and cancer was the other one. So that was two keywords that showed up in the title. So if we look at IMNN, this happened at 8:05 that it hit the top press releases. Let me go ahead and close this out. And if we look at IMNN, this is a 1-minute chart, and then down below in the bottom left is a daily chart, and this is a 15-second chart here. So as you can see, at 8:06, the volume really started kicking in around 8:07. The volume started picking up at 8:06, really kicked off at 8:07. We had a micro pullback, and then it kind of ran up, and then we had a pullback here, and then it ran up some more. And here on the pullback, it held the VWAP. Now, as you can see on the 15-second chart, right down here, it pulled up, and you could have traded this section right here and got yourself a few cents. But then it pulled back, then it broke the VWAP, then it pulled back on the 15-second chart. And as you can see here, the volume was drying out. That green candle in the 15-second, that was some pretty good volume, the highest volume out of all of them since it hit the news. And then it started drying up the volume here. So you could have gotten in like right around here, taken like a 2 cent, 5 cent. You could have even done like a 5 cent stop. And then as you can see, it kind of ran all the way up, and you could have gotten 10 cents out of that. And as you can see here, it has just been slowly grinding up in the pre-market. So that was definitely a good trade. You could have gotten yourself 5, 10 cents out of that. And the volume being traded was quite a bit, because if we look at this right here on a 1 minute, that's like 2 million shares. On the pullback was 1 million, and this big green candle, that was 3.6 million shares being traded. So that definitely would have been a decent trade. And let's go ahead and take a look at what's currently going on in the market. And this is being updated now. It's like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I just wanted to go over some things. As you can see here, it's being loaded. But what I normally do, this is how I use this scanner. That is a proprietary scanner that I built. And of course, it goes for the top press releases. And then the low float gappers, if you like trading low float, that IMNN was a really good one. As you can see here, the float is 13 million, and the traded volume so far at 12 o'clock has been 30 million. And if we click on the news here, it tells you right here, annual meeting, or it's the same headline that we just read about the advanced ovarian cancer diagnosed, about treatment for it. So that's really good news. And if you look at this, is a 5-minute chart. And if we look at the 1-minute chart, this is delayed chart. This is just a free trading view one. Later on, I'm going to get some real-time data for that. But mainly, this is how I'm using the scanner. I wanted to go over how I use the scanner. So when things pop pop open. Right now, I don't have a pre-market scanner. I am currently working on that. And also what I'm going to be doing in the future, the top press releases, anything that comes out here, I'm going to have the scanner checking like every couple seconds. I'm just going to have it checking to see if volume is coming into a company, and then it'll show up on the top here, uh, top moving press releases or something. So that way you can just jump right into the chart. Because right now, the only way I found that IMNN was moving was like if I go through here, that's really not moving. If you go to DE, uh, that's really a stock that I really don't want to trade. That's like a $500 stock. But IMNN, when I did that, I noticed that volume was starting to come in. So we know that was a mover, and you could have gotten some money out of that. But what I'm going to do in the future is write a logic. I'm going to write some logic to actually scan and show when volume is starting to come in that it will pop up here. So you can just go ahead and go directly to the chart and trade it. So what I want to do is just show you how I do this. And this is TradingView. And I normally have 6 charts up here. And what I like to do is I just don't put anything up here. Like I don't just put LTRY and then go to the next one and things like that. I look at the top press releases right here. Actually, not the press releases, just news that's coming out. So if we look at OKLO, if we look at the news, live NASDAQ, composite markets, and free fall amid EU tariff tussle. And then we look at SM, markets and free fall, tariff tussle. So it's just the same thing. And this news will change. This is just the latest news. This is at 10 a.m. That news came out, and LTBR, that was at 6:36 a.m. That's the latest news. But what I like to do is just bring up OKLO. That's news. And then the next one is SMBR. So I bring up SMBR here. Then I go down to the biggest gainers. And I look at LTBR. LTBR, okay, that has news. I'm looking at that. Now, if the stock is trading below, like let's say we go into the morning and let's say the stock, like SMBR or OKLO, in the morning, it kind of traded below the VWAP, and then it kind of started trading above, and then it held the VWAP. We had a pullback, it held it. We had another pullback, it held the VWAP. We had a slight pullback, a higher low, and you could have gotten in on the break of that candle there, and then rode it up and got yourself $1. That's a $46 stock, so it depends on what kind of accounts you have that you can trade. Now, that's how I normally use this. And then I go through here, LTBR, I add that to the charts because I look at the news. Okay, surge ahead of White House nuclear executive orders. Okay, that's fine. MRUS. Skyrockets on President cancer results slamming. Okay, so that was 10:15 a.m. So that was different news that came out. But MRUS, that's why it's still running up. So if we look at MRUS, that was at 10:15. So at 10:15, that news came out. It kind of sold off a little bit, and then it bounced off the VWAP and kind of has been trading up. But I mainly just go and look at the news, and then I put them on the charts here, and I take a look at them. If anything is trading way below the VWAP, let's see if we can't find one like LTRY. Let's say UROY. UROY, that's really not trading below the VWAP, but that's the top gainer. And of course, we had a nice pullback to the VWAP, and then that was a trade there, but that's a $2 stock. Anything that's trading really below the VWAP, I really don't take a look at. I don't put on my NNEE. That was a nice trade. And if we look at NNE, as you can see here, it pulled back and then it traded up a little bit. You might have been able to get yourself like 50 cents out of that. So that's what I mainly like doing is I just go through and put all the ones that have a catalyst, which is news here. And then I'll just come in, OKLO. These are the most traded gainers. I'll look at that first and then I'll put them up here. And then I'll go down here and I'll put LTDR on there. And then once I see a setup, which the setup that I'm looking for is a move up and a pull back. Like this moved up, this pulled back, then you can get in. It pulled back. You could have gotten in on that 2-bar break there and possibly gotten like 25 cents out of that. And that's mainly what I'm looking for. I don't just put all of these on a chart and try to take a look at them. I look at ones that have a catalyst, which is news. That's why I have that column here for news. Now, let's say I only have 2 of them, and then I got 4 more down here. But like this morning, I had 4 of them, four news that I have. So I got 2 more down here. So I just threw on the SPY and the Qs right here. You can just throw on the Qs and take a look at it. If you have more stocks, if you have stocks that have like 5 stocks with news, then you could put the 5th one down here and then the 6th one down here. And I don't go over 6 because normally you can make money off of 6. There definitely should be trades setting up on stocks that are most traded gainers and the biggest gainers. So that's what I like. You can trade your own trading plan. What I'm going to do is start streaming this in the morning so people can take a look at it in real time and see what it's like. The software is going to be ready here pretty soon. There's some things that I got to set up. I want to set up pre-market movers, and once that's set up, or I just might hold off on that and then just release it as it is here, and for people to take a look at the gainers so when the market opens up, they know what is moving. So probably the next feature that I'm looking to make is for the top press releases, to scan the top press releases and find the ones that are moving, and then it'll show up here that it'll say PR movers or something like that. And it'll have the symbol, the price, the change, the float, the volume, the chart, and then the news. I'll have it show up right here. That way you can just go directly to the chart and you don't have to go through this list. That way you don't have to go through this list and find ones that are moving. It'll just show it up right here. So that's all I have. Thank you.